Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us. Our top story this hour, it's often reported that the Suncoast is the epicenter of the opioid crisis here in Florida. The state legislature continues to work on a bill that would put strict limits on doctors prescribing opioids.
But an ABC7 investigation has uncovered some local doctors are writing more prescriptions than just about anywhere else in Florida. Tonight, one of those doctors speaking to ABC7's Alan Cohn about why.
Dr. Lindsay Job is the next generation of pain management specialist. Vanderbilt educated, she's an anesthesiologist and board certified in pain management. But when she moved to Florida and joined a pain management practice on the Suncoast, she was astonished, and not in the good kind of way.
I didn't know what to do with myself. I was thrown into very, very high dose narcotics. I had never seen anything like it before, and it was scary.
The Suncoast, as we all know by now, is ground zero in Florida's opioid epidemic. But the battle isn't just being waged on the street, and the enemy isn't only illicit opioids like heroin, fentanyl, or carfentanil. It's also being fought in nice, well-maintained medical office buildings throughout the Suncoast. And the opioids aren't just dangerous concoctions imported into the country by drug cartels. They go by the name of Percocet, Vicodin, hydrocodone. And despite the crackdown by the state and county on so-called pill mills, they are still being prescribed at alarming rates, says P.J. Brooks of First Step, one of the Suncoast's preeminent substance abuse treatment centers.
Even the general practitioner who may be prescribing doesn't fully understand the impact that those medications could have. The medical community as a whole typically only has about 2 hours of training on addictive disorders. They don't really even understand the disease of addiction.
So ABC7 set out to find out who is writing the most prescriptions for opioids on the Suncoast, why, and what are the alternatives for treating very real pain. We obtained this database from the Center of Medicare and Medicaid from the years 2013 to 2015. It contains the names of every doctor in the nation who has prescribed opioid pain medication to those enrolled in those programs, how many prescriptions they wrote during that period, how many refills, and the total drug cost. We narrowed our search to Florida, and ranking third in the entire state, Dr. Fabian Ramos, who has offices in both Sarasota and Bradenton.
If you are very busy, if you see 200 patients a day in the practice in general, you're going to generate patients, especially if you're working 18 years in the community, in 2 cities.
In other words, Dr. Ramos says, it's a matter of the volume of patients he and his staff treat and doesn't reflect the level of the dosages. From 2013 to 2015, over 8,500 patients going to the Ramos Center received prescriptions for opioids. The number of prescriptions of refills, almost 42,000. The total cost of the medication, more than $2.5 million.
When you look at the Florida list and you in the practice ranking third out of all the pain management doctors or physicians in Florida in terms of the number of opioids and refills and the dollar amount, put that into context for us.
Actually, I am the practice, one of the that least prescribes per patient. We are the largest practice in the area.
Ramos claims only 21% of his patients are prescribed opioids.
Keeping them functional, keeping them at work. Sometimes, it's okay to do that.
Dr. Job does prescribe opioids as well, over 1,000 times from 2013 to 2015. Total prescriptions and refills, over 4,000. But she says,
my generation trained differently. We were trained with very minimal opioids, and we were trained to use, this super high technology that we have now to make pain go away.
Job says that technology includes using a device like this to inject stem cells and blood platelets.
This is a chamber that we use to purify, essentially, components of the blood to inject platelet-rich plasma or bone marrow aspirate into patients, typically joints, for chronic pain syndromes.
But neither are approved by the FDA or covered by insurance for pain relief. Dr. Ramos says he is all for innovation as well and screens patients for addiction, personality disorders, depression, and offers mental health counseling. But when it comes to pain and patience, he implores, don't just look at the numbers of traditional opioid-based pain medications he and others prescribe.
We have the obligation to treat the human being in pain, and this is when the pendulum should not swing to the nonsense.
In Sarasota, Alan Cohn, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Well, the legislature is considering a bill that would restrict doctors to prescribing 3 days worth of opioid pain relievers to patients unless longer supplies are medically needed and there are no alternative treatments.
And coming up tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, two pain relief specialists with two very different points of view. Hope you'll join us for that.
Well, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for the look at your First Alert forecast. Beautiful evening this night, Bob.
Yeah, it is, Jacqueline. I tell you, we have had a string of days here from really the 1st of February, it seems. That groundhog got it wrong. He said there was going to be a long winter. Well, it's been a long summer, it seems like, for February. Unbelievably warm temperatures. Now, the actual high at the surface is right over here now. It's been bumped off a little bit to the east. We have an upper level high as well, covering much of the state from the Gulf of Mexico northward all the way through the Carolinas. So this high pressure ridge is stacked up, and when it happens, things don't move much into the zone, and that's what is continuing to happen. We have this southeasterly winds. These are low clouds. You see fair weather cumulus clouds that continue to move around that area of high pressure right on in. That's the southeast wind flow for us, and that typically keeps things on the warm side, and that's what we had today. Another record today, at least we tied it today. We didn't set it, but 87 the high. We had a temperature just an hour and a half ago at 86 degrees, and then the sea breeze kicked in, and it cooled us down some 8 degrees real quickly. Now it's bounced back up to 80 now, but winds are out of the west-northwest at 6. The pressure 30-30. That is actually still rising. 79 in Tallahassee, 78 in Orlando, and 80 in Sarasota. Is there any cool air on the way? We'll let you know about that coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Local teachers and administrators are taking a stance on whether staff should be armed with guns in schools. While some students and teachers say they'd feel safer if school staff members were armed, others say it's the wrong answer to school gun violence. In Manatee County, it's been a discussion that administrators have had since Columbine. Arming teachers is not something the Manatee Education Association will support. And in Sarasota County, one former administrator feels that it's impractical. Meanwhile, local NRA representatives say armed teachers could save lives.
We're finding more and more in our society, police officers, for instance, who are our most highly trained professionals with guns, frequently misuse them, need to be retrained. Can you imagine educators being trained and retrained and supervised with something like this?
Having teachers that are potentially properly trained and armed would be an excellent resource. The problem is that every time you have an active shooter that comes on site, it takes the police around 5 to 7 minutes to arrive. It takes the active shooter from 0 to 5 minutes to complete the deed that they came on campus with.
Local lawmakers have proposed armed teachers in the past. However, that bill did not pass in Tallahassee.
Law enforcement has made clear all threats of violence at local schools will be severely punished. But tonight there is a new message to help students who are frightened by these threats. One local doctor with a specialty in child psychology says after deciphering which threats are credible, the next best step is talking to students. He says adults are wrong to think they're protecting kids by avoiding the topic. And a good way to start the conversation is by expressing your own fears and emotions after a tragedy like the one in Parkland. Many area schools also have mentorship programs to help answer tough questions students may have.
If you're scared, we are all scared generally. And if you tell us, we'll say, my God, thank you for coming forward, because that's exactly how I was feeling.
There's somebody that cares about you, and there's somebody that cares about your well-being. There's somebody that would help you see a bigger picture than the environment you're in today.
Most mentorship programs can be set up after notifying a school's guidance counselor or assistant principal. They really do work. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a delay in construction leads to new concerns.
Why officials fear Venice's public safety center may not be built in time.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Thousands of award-winning Honda SUVs are on sale from $189 a month during the Honda President's Day sales event. You've got to see these SUVs. Get a surprisingly spacious 2018 HR-V, $189 a month, or step up to Pilot for $289 a month with available seating for 8. Plus, we have Motor Trend's SUV of the Year, the 2018 CR-V, and Ridgeline, a Car and Driver's 10 Best. All on sale for up to $3,805, less than the competition at your local Honda dealer.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in a car accident, the state of Florida only gives you a specific amount of time to file a claim. So act now, give us a call.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Loaded with big laughs, colorful characters, and the songs that made the 20s roar, Bullets Over Broadway is bringing musical theater back with a bang. Your attendance is requested at the Players Center for this wild Broadway musical opening February 21st. Call the Players at 365-2494 or visit the website at theplayers.org. This is one Broadway show that is sure to knock 'em dead.
Get all the local information you need before you leave home in the morning. Watch Good Morning Suncoast weekdays on ABC 7 to get breaking news, plus first alert, weather, and traffic focused on where you live. ABC 7, we're here for you.
A developing story in Manatee County tonight. That's where the sheriff's office is investigating after a plane was forced to make an emergency landing due to engine trouble. The plane landing off of Verna Bethany Road in East Manatee. Thankfully, both the pilot and the plane are fine, and there are no reported injuries at this time. The Federal Aviation Administration has been notified.
A delay in construction is leading to concerns Venice's Public Safety Center may not be built in time. The $16 million project is being funded by a municipal bond, which has a stipulation the money must be spent no more than 3 years after it was granted. Because the money was first granted last August, the City Council hoped to have ground broken by now, but an architect was only recently hired to design the building.
We have a project manager, we have city staff, and the architects are all working together, and we pretty much have assurance that we will be moving along on schedule.
It will take at least 2 years for the building to be designed and then built. If it's not completed on time, that could lead to increased fees on the bond.
Well, stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will have a look at your weekend forecast when we return.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Sarasota Opera's 2018 Winter Opera Festival is here.
featuring Puccini's Manon Lescaut, Bizet's Carmen, Bellini's Norma, and D'Albert's rarely heard Tiefland. For more information, go to sarasotaopera.org.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Well, I do that.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
Watch ABC7 wherever you are. Just search ABC7 on your streaming device to keep up with the Suncoast from the comfort of your couch. Download ABC7 now to watch us on TV anytime you want. ABC7, we're here for you wherever you are.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Bob loves to be out in the community,
That's
talking
right.
to our viewers. And who are you talking to today?
USF had a special program today. They were all talking about Cuba and the Caribbean, how it's opening up to business. And we also spoke about hurricanes and how that had a big impact on the Caribbean. The costliest hurricanes ever to hit the Caribbean, Maria and Irma. Right. On top of that, Bob Bunting, who is a meteorologist who's flown in many hurricanes before, was there, a nice presentation. So it was a well-attended event and a very important event as well. This is another great shot of a Buffalo Creek gator on the prowl. Now, I just got off the phone with Dan Crawford. He's the one that sent this in. He didn't give his name, but this was on the prowl, and I said, is that the big one that's out there? He said, no, there's a 16-footer out there. That's just a 12-footer. So that's a little baby.
Oh, casual.
He was playing golf, and this was on the 10th hole there at Buffalo Creek. So they've grown big there at Buffalo Creek. And this is a big shot of the moon. A half moon there it was. Susan getting this one last night and sending it into my Facebook page. Appreciate those photos. Keep them coming. And I'll tell you what, we need to get some rain coming our way. We need to wash this atmosphere out a little bit and clean it up. The pollen count's really quite high, and a lot of rainfall. They don't need it into Texas and Oklahoma, Arkansas. Now, all this is spreading up into Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, too, where they don't need it there either. They've had flooding problems and concerns lately, and now that flood problem is in through East Texas up to Louisiana and parts of Arkansas tonight. For us, no rain around, some false echoes down to our south, or if you will, again, the military exercises going on down there. And for us, look at all this dry air in place. Now, this is not your typical summer pattern. Even though we've had summer-like temperatures, don't get the wrong impression here. It doesn't really feel like summer here because the dew point temperatures aren't as nearly high as they usually are during the summer months. But with this dry air in place, we don't expect any kind of significant rainfall at all anytime soon. 80 degrees right now, as our high today was tying a record at 87. We have a few clouds around. It should be another gorgeous sunset. The actual high today, 87, 66 the morning low. Those two numbers running way above average. 74 is our typical high, and 54 is our average low. And as far as temperatures go now, all into the mid-70s now from Holmes Beach down to Longboat Key. If you're on the mainland there, in the low 80s, 80 in Lake Sarasota, 81 at Laurel Oak, and the same in Northport now, 79 in Inglewood. And the forecast doesn't call for much change. You continue to see the steady southeasterly wind flow around the area of high pressure located off the Carolina coast in the Atlantic that continues to funnel and pump moisture right into that frontal boundary, which has some very cold air, although that cold air now is starting to modify a bit. So we're not getting as much lift, but there's another little weak disturbance which is going to move along that, bringing more rainfall into an area that's already soaked. And so that will cause all sorts of problems with flooding rivers there into Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan over the upcoming, it looks like, weekend. as more moisture moves on in. Temperatures have cooled down, but there's no real significant cold weather right now occurring across the Great Lakes. 34 in Cleveland, 17 though in Minot, 18 in Billings, so that extreme Arctic air in the Montana and North Dakota. For boaters tomorrow, we'll have east winds turning to the northwest at 10 knots, subsiding to 5 knots in the afternoon. So good boating weather out there. Here's a look at the temperatures expected for the next 7 days, well above average. In fact, take it on into March. March 1st, it's like a lamb instead of a lion for March. 79 degrees for high on Thursday. And by the way, Thursday will be the launching of the GOES-S, which is the new satellite that'll be actually watching our western skies in the United States. Back to you.
Okay, Bob, thank you. Here's ABC 7's Linda Carson with a preview of what's next.
Coming up on Suncoast Scene, we'll tell you where to find some new events and some new ideas.
Tonight, as students across the country and in the nation's capital make an emotional call to action, will lawmakers finally respond? Plus, the Russia investigation, the Attorney General on the hot seat. World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.
Come experience the rugged capability and luxurious comfort of a new Ram truck and get big savings during Ram Truck Month at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new Ram trucks. Get the all-new redesigned 2018 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $25,999. Or save big and get $13,300 off a new Ram Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
Accolades are great. Just wait until you see our prices. Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs. And you learned how to not ignore yours. I discovered how to make healthier meals. And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC 7 is seeking an experienced broadcast engineer to provide technical support for all broadcast equipment. TV broadcast background required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
Well, the Suncoast is going to be a great place to be this weekend. There are a lot of exciting events going on.
Circus Sarasota's show Ovation continues under the Big Top at Nathan Benderson Park. And as ABC 7's Linda Carson shows us, there's a lot more going on in Suncoast.
Job Movement is one of the hottest bands on the Suncoast. And Job Fest is going to be right here in front of the Gator Club. Main Street's going to be closed down on Saturday night for the second annual Oz Fest. And admission is free. Lead singer Damie Kane says the concert's a tribute to his father.
He was a very positive person in the community. He had a reggae band named Democracy Reggae Band, and it's nothing but love. He always preached. He passed away last year in a car accident on the way home from a gig, and I just think that we should do a festival every year for him. Just come out and have fun and enjoy the music.
A new exhibit just opened here at Ringling Museum. It's by Tony Dove and it's called Embodied Machines. Tony Dove is a pioneer in interactive cinema. And if you're not sure what that means, you got to come here and see this exhibit.
Tony is one of the pioneers of something called interactive cinema, which is a film experience where the viewer has some level of interaction with the films.
And Chorus of the Keys presents Showtime 18. 2 shows at Riverview Performing Arts Center, Saturday at 2:30 and 7 p.m.
We will hear wonderful songs, barbershop style songs, but songs from every era. It could be Broadway music, it could be 50s and 60s, the Great American Songbook, a wide variety of music.
And the concert will feature former Chorus of the Keys director Stephen Ditchfield with his quartet called My Three Sons. He says this concert is something you don't want to miss.
Because it's so uplifting. It's music that you remember, done in the style that you love and appreciate. It's a feel-good show all the way around. It's just really good, solid family entertainment in every way, and you walk out feeling uplifted.
And a new exhibit at Selby Gardens is attracting big crowds. Step inside Selby Gardens and find out what Andy Warhol's Factory was all about.
This is a much beloved artist, an icon of pop art, but the interpretation that we've done is truly innovative in the gardens context with horticultural displays. Just something that has never been done, so don't miss it.
Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Always so much to do here on the Suncoast.
And great weather to enjoy it all in, too.
Yeah, year-round, too. Although it gets warm in the summer, it's still manageable sometimes. We're getting summer-like temperatures, but not the humidity that we normally experience. Right. And not the afternoon storms to cool us down, so temperatures staying warm, too. And it looks like that trend will continue.
Okay, Bob. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. World News Tonight with David Muir is next.
We'll see you again at 11. Have a good night.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
If you've never truly loved your car, you've clearly never owned a Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running. Now lease the most award-winning small SUV, a new Subaru Forester, for just $219 a month, or get 0% financing with 0 down during the Subaru True Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Tickets are going fast for My Hometown Fest, Saturday, March 3rd from noon to 5 at Nathan Benderson Park. Enjoy foods from 40 area restaurants, 40-plus craft beers, live music, and lots of fun. Get your tickets today at myhometownfest.org.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.